in our households as abantu abamnyama, if you are the kid that earns the most money, it is linked to respect.
Yeah.
We have to talk about those things. Are not in a textbook. They're not going to come in a textbook. You know, it is what it is.
This is the Hustlers Corner.
Hello world, welcome to the Hustlers Corner. Big homie Spuda Archer. As usual, the first thing we do, straight to that shop sign on the count of 1, 2, 3. Click, 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 click. Thank you. Let's go to the, sorry guys, let's go to that subscription button. Click. I have to say these things over and over because sometimes they become an oversight. You just watch and just chill. But when somebody at least takes the effort to remind you, at least, oh, let me just join this movement and let me grow and become a part of it. Don't forget to switch on the notification bell. The person that I'm sitting with here is is not new to this podcast. Actually, they came when the podcast was still very small. It was still new. They brought us their time. They were like, oh, I've got a very big YouTube channel. Who are you? You don't even have an existing channel? I'll just do you a favor and just come. And then it became one of our biggest podcasts at that time. And then she did us even a bigger favor that she took that video and uploaded it on her platform, which is bigger. That's pretty much what gave birth to our podcast, because then traffic started flowing this in. For that, she'll forever be a friend of the Hustlers Corner.
What was all of that? The prelude.
You look stunning.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, guys, welcome. She's a television talk show host. She's a YouTuber, an entrepreneur. I know this book is a bit old.
Yeah.
Because people like her, they're overachievers. In just a space of 2 or 3 years, they've done so much already. Social entrepreneur. She believes in power of knowledge, popularly known as the financial bunny. She's the money conversation starter and believes that open and honest discussions about money will start to strip away its hold on people so that they can begin to redesign their relationships. This book is called What's Your Move? That is her previous book. She is currently working on her next book, but she's a little bit lazy here and there to finish it up. But maybe this interview will inspire her to go finish it up. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicolette Mashile.
I want to ask who wrote that. Like, that sounds so smart. Like, I know I didn't write that. I wonder who wrote that part.
But now you're starting to look at it like, it's normal. But remember before you wrote a book, it was such a challenge. But now that it's done, now you're going through a similar feeling where you are struggling to write the next one.
Sheesh, I am struggling so much. Like in this book, in What's Your Move, I actually write, I think the first chapter is a love letter to the readers. And I actually speak about having this, what's that, that theory where you have doubts, you know, it's a syndrome, what's it called? And I think I'm going through the same thing now. I'm like,
syndrome.
Because I'm like, I know what I want to write. I know what I want to put out there. I've started writing. My editor started working on it. But when I get it back and I read it back to myself, I'm like, what am I saying here? What am I trying to say, you know? So I am struggling quite a lot. I don't know if I've got a mental block. I don't think it's a mental block. I think I've gone above myself and I need to come back to earth. One of the things my mentor said, so obviously after I wrote this book and over the months, you know, you've gotten a lot of new people who are doing financial education and they're sounding more polished, they're sounding more, you know, and I think I fell into that trap where I thought, okay, no, I need to sound more smart, I need to sound more polished, I need to sound like this. And I spoke to my mentor and my mentor was like, no, don't do that. Go back to the people that grew with you. The people that started with you, because those are your people, that's your cohort. And you may find that there's a new cohort of people that don't know all of the things that you speak about. So you've got to start again with them. So I think that's where I need to go back to the book that I'm writing now and remind myself, Uguti, man, I don't need to sound smarter. I don't need to sound more polished. I don't need to do all of those things. I just need to write a book that's going to speak to the ordinary person. And I think that's what,
I'm glad that you've got that epiphany that said, you're okay as you are.
Yeah, because I thought, oh, you know, these people are senses. They've got these analogies, they've got strategies, and I'm like, But I also remembered something. So I got invited to do when the war in Russia, the war in Ukraine by Russia started, and the fuel prices skyrocketed. And somebody said to me, don't you want to go to ENCA and do an interview on the increase of fuel prices? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I fully understood for the first time why. I'm not an economist. I'm not a finance person. And I need to be okay with that. I am an educator who teaches financial concepts. Because money is an everyday thing that all of us use on a daily basis, I need to be okay with that. In actual fact, I was a teacher before. So I think for the first time, the light went off in my head because I used to find myself taking these interviews where I'm going to fall short or I'm going to trip myself because I have to, maybe for 2 days before the interview, have to learn about all of these things. And Ziambora, like honestly speaking, me having to analyze the fuel price hike, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in macroeconomics and microeconomics. I'm interested in your pocket and how do I assist you in the decision making that you have control over. That's what I'm interested in. And I think for the first time, I woke up and I was like, I'm okay with not having to be on a television station sounding smart.
What you've just started with now, I think, is what a lot of people out there, especially younger people, are battling with. I've been through same journey. I remember when I was evolving from the music industry to becoming more and more interested in business, to telling myself that I'm fully becoming a businessman now. I'm sure a lot of people, if you track back to the videos I was doing even at the time, just my image, the suits, the blazers,
yes.
I wanted so much validation that no, now I'm becoming a businessman.
Yes.
Stop seeing me as a DJ. Stop seeing me as a musician. Stop seeing me as a TV person. It took me a couple of years. I would walk into some meetings sometimes and people was like, DJ was it? It was Chelan in this boardroom. You were just DJ. And it used to hurt me quietly and silently where I was like, you know what? I'm going to prove myself so much so there's going to be a day where this country looks at me and they see a businessman.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that it's a few years later and now people don't even see a musician anymore.
Now you're trying to claw back to being a musician, a creative.
I was seeking for validation.
Yeah, external validation.
Because I was getting these opportunities, you are invited in Harvard, you are invited in MIT, you are with Les Brown, you're with Robert Kiyosaki. Where now I'm falling into this trap of exactly what you're saying. I must try and sound smarter. I must try and from time to time, luckily, it's always good to have people who care about you, who will be honest and say, Sbuda.
Yeah.
Awusabi uSbuda manje.
Yeah.
And Mina, so we've got an inside joke, but I won't say it on camera. But they say, "Yabona my so one bad."
Yeah.
When
Oh,
they say
you
that-
like
yeah,
this
when
person?
they say that, I know.
I know exactly who that person
About Sbuda.
is.
No, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't even know. But anyway, yeah, that's what I.
Yeah.
And so they always remind me with Sbuda, be yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to prove it. See, I was without supplying the politics. See, I was without supplying ngale into the sithandwe njalo.
Yes.
Wena nje into kumele uyenze ukuthi thatha labo bantu abablind ngalezo zinto.
Ubaleze. Yebo, yes. Like it is the absolute truth. I don't believe in absolute truth, but I think that's one thing I believe in. I believe in being who you are and really pulling from your own strengths and not try. You know, I literally, I feel like in the last the last 2 years, that's what I was trying to figure out. Where does Nicolette fit in? How does Nicolette do things? I was on a set, and the executive producer said to me, you know, Nicolette, what we cannot do is add to who you already are. We can only tell you to tone down. So we want the full you. Come with the full Nicolette, the full personality, who you are, you know? Because for us, it's easier to say, okay, no, let's tone her down there, let's bring her voice down there, let's limit her pitch, let's do this. But what we can't do is to add pitch where you don't have, you know? So I think that for me has been such a great epiphany because it really just said, seek the validation within.
How do you feel to be a pioneer of a space in South Africa and in just a short space of time when you were not prepared to start being looked at like that? Maybe you were at a later stage, but I'm definitely sure because of COVID, it probably happened quicker than you thought. But you have literally just pioneered a space that is, as you said earlier, there's a lot of people who are doing financial education, which I think is a good thing.
Absolutely.
How does that make you feel that you've just unveiled, you've literally like not uvele wapapa nation, wavele wasusubu mnyama nje abantu bapapa ma left, right and center? Do you look at it that way, or do you feel like how maybe older actors or maybe us OGs would feel in the music industry, or maybe let's say in the acting industry, where these kids 1, 2, 3 and 4 Tina ngeke this and that, just like no abayenzi kahle lento, you know what I mean, like as opposed to just being I don't know. How does that make you feel? Let me hear what you have to say.
Well, look, I'm human. I'm human. So there will be days when the arrogance sinks in, and you're just like, yeah, I was one of the first people to do this. But I don't think it's a sentiment I hold very closely. You know, for me, it's exciting to see more people, especially because remember, in as much as you may be one of the few people that have pioneered a space, you're also one of the few people that have taken the beatings, right? And money is very emotional. So I have taken beatings, on social media where people have called me anti-poor, people have called me snob, people have called me privileged. So I've had all of the words, said to me, thrown at me. So I think I'm happy to have been one of the few people that took those beatings and really paved a way where financial education is something we can now talk about. Money is something that is comfortable for us to. I mean, we still have a long way to go because you see some of the sentiments that get put out on social media. But the reason why I bring this up is, for me, perspective is important, and having more people speaking about money gives you different perspectives. So yes, I was unlucky that at the time that I had started doing this, I was one of the few people. So and a lot of it came from my own personal experiences. Remember, I didn't study finance, so a lot of my money beliefs, my money values, how I see money came from my experiences, how I was brought up, and all of that. And I shaped that, and often I made it sound like it's fact, because that's what I know, So some of it was, I made it fact, and some of it, I really had very strong opinion. I mean, many things I don't have strong opinions on anymore about money, that if you were to look at my videos a couple of years ago, you would be like, Jesus, girl, So I think it's beautiful that I'm starting now to see money in a different light, because there are more voices that are speaking about it. People are becoming a little bit. So I think that for me is more the sentiment that I hold. Is more we've started something, and it's really exciting. And I was very lucky because, as you say, when I started, I never started as money. It was never money education. It was actually more of women empowerment, because I used to be called Beraka Masadi. And it was like, yeah, women can do this, oh my goodness. And then it morphed into financial education. And I'm very happy for that, because what it allowed was not for me to go look for the guys from America who are doing it, the Suze Osmonds, the Dave Ramseys of this world. I never went to go look at their stuff to copy or to see what they're talking about. I just went on my own and did it. And now when I look at their stuff, I'm like, I'm glad, because there were some opinions there that were so in contrast with what I was saying. And I realized it's because our economies are different. Our realities are different as people. And I think that's the beautiful thing about money that I really enjoy, is that you can come from your own point of view. I'll come from my own point of view. We may even be saying the same thing, just saying it so differently that it sounds like two different perspectives. But it's literally, we're all working towards one thing. So I think South Africa has still got a very long way to go in terms of making. I mean, even now on radio. I mean, when we did that stuff with Capitec,
yeah,
on Massive, you got a couple of people listening, and it was really exciting. But you could still feel that brands are still they're still not getting it in terms of what needs to be done. You can't want to direct this type of conversation that much. You gotta let people tell you what they think about money. You gotta let people tell you what money is to them. For us to come out and say this is what money is supposed to be, this is what money is it just does not fit in with the South African culture. So I would love to see more young people really coming out and speaking about money, not being afraid of speaking about money. We all use money. You don't need a qualification, right? Especially if you're speaking about money. There's a difference between speaking and advising. You know what I mean? Speaking is, let's have a conversation. The mere fact that in our households, as abantu mnyama, if you are the kid that earns the most money, it is linked to respect.
Yeah.
We have to talk about those things. Are not in a textbook. They're not going to come in a textbook. It is what it is.
You've got a platform now, because when all of us were crazy with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you were one of the early adopters of YouTube, the YouTube platform. Let's go back to the younger ones that you've inspired. Some of them are not probably doing financial education, but because of they got inspired by you sharing your passion on screen with these bite-sized short videos that you used to do and how they've grown your platform, especially at that time, to where it is now. Some of them didn't even maybe follow the route of financial education. Maybe they're doing other things on their platforms because YouTube has become such a beautiful, good, passive income e-commerce business.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for people like us, people like them, who are still having 5,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 50,000 subscribers, but they'd like to get to your level because you're already almost on the 200,000s of this world, and you're still not putting in that much effort. But what are some of the tips you can share with us to grow our YouTube channels, because that on its own is a business?
I'm on 179. So we stop telling people I'm on 200. Please. It is my goal though for the year, right? So you know, I'm probably going to give advice that I don't follow myself and use, as you rightfully say.
Okay, but what did you do to get your page onto where it is?
I think it's consistency. You know, trying at a level to be consistent in terms of putting out content, and sometimes forgetting the numbers. I think too many of us are too focused on the numbers and wanting to grow the numbers, that when the numbers don't grow at the reality, you know, I always say YouTube numbers or YouTube following is almost similar to investments. We all go into it very excited, right? Oh, I'm going to go into investing. I'm going to buy stocks on the stock market, and you've got these ideas of what's supposed to happen, but the expectation versus reality is always sometimes just it misses each other, right? And I think that's also YouTube, is that if you go in there with a full-on expectation and unrealistic goal setting of saying, I want to hit these numbers by then, but the work that you're doing doesn't consistently speak to those numbers, it's not going to happen, right? And the thing is, unfortunately, it is one thing people need to understand is that YouTube is an on-demand service. So people go there on demand as they please. It is not TV. It is not a scheduled thing where somebody is going to switch on YouTube at 8 o'clock. Generations. It doesn't work like that, right? However, you can get it to that point. And that point can only be done through consistency and hard work. And I'll use MacG for instance, right? He has a podcast episode that comes out at a specific time on a specific day. He's taught his audiences that, right? And he can't miss that mark. Because the day he misses it, he's going to lose people because they expect the frequency of it and the consistency of it. Now, for the rest of us, we just post. Say poster, Joe, Nicolette Bayer poster, right? So it's really about sitting down and putting together a strategy of saying, how do I want this to actually play out? Am I going to create a channel where I'm going to be consistent and my people know what to expect and when to expect it? Or am I going to be that person that posts on a random, but I've got another strategy? So I'll give you one of my biggest strategies. What's that? Click per rate?
CPM.
My CPM is so high.
Is it more than $5?
It is sitting at 11.72. And it's insane. People every time they ask me, they're like, how do you do? I'm like, remember, content also dictates what people come and watch.
So if you've got a YouTube channel, guys, go to your settings, go look at something called CPM. Probably sitting at $2 or $3. Ours, we're not bad. We're not doing that bad. We're sitting at $4.
That's good.
So what YouTube would say, for instance, they'd say they'll pay you a certain amount of money per 1,000 views.
Yes.
And then you can calculate and say, if my CPM is sitting on, like for instance hers, at $11 per click, and then you multiply that by 1,000 views, it gives you a certain amount of number that gives you some sort of an idea as to if your videos are this long, or if you post this often, or if you get these number of views per month or per week. These are the numbers that you'd be making somehow. Am I wrong or am I right? Or how do you break down the finance part of YouTube content creators out there on how do we make money off YouTube?
No, you're very correct. You're very correct in terms of how the CPM is. It tells you how much you get paid. But of course, we know there's also that portion that YouTube takes. So even though you're going to get that amount per 1,000, YouTube will take it at 40 or 45%. I can't remember how much.
So they take almost half of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that hectic. I can't remember what the breakdown is, but it's not that hectic. They're better than exclusive books. I'm just joking. So my CPM is quite high because of the content that I do. So if you do a bit of research, you will see the topics that get higher CPMs. It's your finance, it's your business, so that type of content will always get. And I always tell people, and I'm actually writing about that in the book now, you need a niche on YouTube. This thing of not having a niche is going to put you in a space where you actually don't know who your audiences are. It's important to get a niche. You either get a niche in a topic or you get a niche in structure. So for instance, you've got a niche in structure. People come to your channel because they know you interview people and you have conversations with a certain groupings of people. I do finance. So people come to my channel knowing that I do finance, right? It's not today, uzozwa gama plants. Sasa, I'm going to be talking about cleaning. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about this. Because then it doesn't help me shape my audiences. It doesn't help me grow with my audiences. And my community is not grown fast enough. Then also, it's about your content. Remember, at the end of the day, the people that sit on YouTube are people who can pay, right? It's decision makers. It's the people who are probably running finances in their homes, depending again on your age group. So for instance, my age group so I've got a big chunk of 18 to 24. Then I've got a big chunk of 24 to 35. My biggest chunk is the 24 to 35. For me, those are the decision makers. So even when I do content, I try to specifically speak to those people because I need to build them. I need to build that community. These are people that can afford to, because they've got the data, they work for Wi-Fi, or they have a home Wi-Fi in their homes. The 18 to 24, in as much as I'd love to educate them and they're great, if I want YouTube to make money for me, I need to remember at 18 to 24, you're probably a student. So data is very limited. Or you live in race. Data again is limited. You're only watching YouTube on campus. Now the question again is then, if that's the team, the group I'm dealing with, when do I post? I gotta post when they are in front of a computer. So you gotta go through your analytics. And it's important. I say people, YouTube is a business. It is a business. In as much as even me, I am right now not maximizing my YouTube. If I maximize my YouTube would be insane. I was actually so there's another chapter in the book. So the new book is actually called Making Money, That's My Move. Right? So it's a follow up to this one, because this one asks you, what is your move? So the next one is Making Money is My Move. And it now goes into teaching people how to make money, because again in South Africa we talk too much about how to reduce costs, reduce this. Oh my goodness, we're going to reduce until we eat our fingers. So now the book is about how to make money. And in the one chapter where I speak about making money off the internet, I actually make a comparison of my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel long ago, but the actual time when I started putting content on it was probably beginning of 2018, right? Between 2018, I bought a property also in 2015. Bought it at 1,030,000 rand, right? Granted, here I've got 1,030,000 rand in asset value, right? With whatever growth that has been since 2015, right? My YouTube channel, on the other hand, again, also started around about 2018. Let's say on a cost basis, I've maybe spent just under 200,000 rand on the channel because of equipment, all of the stuff, my time, all of that, right? I make more money on the YouTube channel versus this one property. Because when I take the rental of this property and I minus the operational costs, your city of Johannesburg, your levies, the taxes that I pay, the maintenance that I have to minus every single month, I'm probably left here on a rent of maybe, let's say 9,000. I'm left with just 4.5. Here, YouTube pays me. It's going above 10K sometimes on a monthly consistently. So do you see that, and I tell people that this can make me money if I'm consistent, if I sit down and I draft a proper strategy of how I want my YouTube channel. Granted, this is still worth a million rand, but we don't, because right now, most of us don't know how to value our YouTube channels. So there's no actual valuation that you can do for your actual channel. Because I know I've had a lot of brands who will come to me and say, Nicolette, are you not willing to sell your YouTube channel? We're like, because they can see value.
So let me tell you how the easiest way. It's not precise, but an estimate. How you check your property value. An easiest thing, like you spoke about, 1 million rent property, probably gives you like just a little under 10,000 every month in rental, right? After you pay your expenses. And then how you know that a an asset that gives me 10 grand a month, roughly it's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
An asset that gives me 100,000 a month, roughly it's worth 10 million. But with YouTube, it's almost similar, but not the same.
Yeah.
But if you look at how the international standards have sold their YouTube channels online, you can even Google this information, guys. They would use a format where they would say, take the number of, you multiply it by 35. Konja, what number is it? Oh, smooth.
We'll Google it. Let's Google it. Let's Google it.
That's what I love about
I want to know what the value of my YouTube channel is. I'm ready to sell.
So Mina, mine is roughly, and it's still small. It's
Yeah.
still small.
Yeah.
And I'm negotiating with people who want to come on board, who are
Yes.
actually buying shares into my YouTube podcast.
That's
you know?
amazing.
And I'm basically emphasizing and amplifying your point.
Yeah.
Actually, YouTube is a very good
It's
business.
huge.
It's a business.
I'm at the point. I think we spoke about this in the last conversation. I'm at the point where I'm turning it into a channel, a full-on finance-related channel. We'll have a cooking show where we're doing budget meals, how to save money in the kitchen. We want to do a thrift shopping show. We want to do Bake to Basics. We want to do interviews. So we want to have like consistency over every week. We know every day an episode edlalang.
I totally agree with you, and it's so dope to work with people with experience. You can see that I'm busy Googling. In the meantime, she's covering me up by speaking.
No, definitely. I really am excited. We actually did a thing with YouTube. Here's the other thing that I really like about YouTube is that because the Google knows that they've built something amazing. They know that, right? Google they're not oblivious to what they've built on you working with YouTube. They do a lot of support. They really give YouTubers a lot of support. Sometimes it's just unfortunate that with anything in life, or you're not in their radar yet. But for me, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie, I've received quite a lot of support from Google. Also, not only just support in terms of them, giving us like resources, but also booking you to MC stuff, so for me, the other beautiful thing about YouTube and having a niche, then I get money where I've got brands that say we want to do videos that are branded on YouTube, on your channel, where they must play out on your channel. Then I make money because of people seeing me on YouTube and thinking, she will make a great MC. She'll make a great panelist. She'll make a talk. Do you understand? So that's my 3-prong way of how I make money just off this channel. So that's why for me, when I go and I do videos and my videos don't do well, like there'll be a video that doesn't do well, I am so keen to go into the comments to find out why the video didn't do well. But it allows me to practice. Because you've got to practice in front of camera. And there'll be videos that you'll watch and you'll be like, yo, but what's that?
There's videos that I watched of me 3 years ago. Some of them I feel like going to delete them. But because YouTube is a business, I understand the longer it's there, even if it's paying me 3 cents a month, it's forever going to pay that 3 cents for the rest of my life.
It's an asset.
So when you're deleting a video, basically you're removing a small asset off of your bigger piece.
Yes.
Off of your big house, you're removing a brick.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And going back to what I was searching for online, how much is my YouTube channel worth? You can sell a blog for 20 to 30 times average monthly revenue.
Ooh.
So if your blog brought in $1,000 per month, I'd expect you could sell it for $20,000 to $30,000. While I'd expect you could sell a YouTube channel for similar multiples. There aren't exactly a ton of hard and fast rules for selling web assets. This isn't a stable market like the housing market. That's why I was making an example in the property, right? To get a decent valuation, you need to find a buyer who values your audience.
Yes.
Look for businesses with products that fit your niche.
Yes.
And why are YouTube channels prices so low? If a blog had 50,000 subscribers, for instance, like we do, by the way, thank you very much, guys. We're growing. We appreciate Nicolette for being a very big part of that growth. I'd sell for over 100. Oh, it will sell for over $100,000. Wow. Let me read this again.
Read the numbers again.
If a blog had 50,000 subscribers like we do,
so you can
it would sell
double.
for over $100,000. How much is that in South African rands?
$100,000
That's 1.5 million.
1.5 million.
So I was sort of right with my estimates earlier to
With the
say
10
ours
yes.
is worth just a little under 2 million, right?
Yes.
But anyways, however, you can go on sites like Abo Fame Swap and see YouTube channels with more subscribers selling for more than $1,000. I guess it goes back to that conversation of it is worth as much as the next person is willing to pay for it.
But remember also, Sbu, and this is how I sell my Facebook channel. My Facebook channel, you're not finding anything other than finance. So I always say to clients, when they come to me and they want to do campaigns, then and most of them come with Instagram. Instagram, kida thing. I say to them, you're a finance company. What are you doing on Instagram? Because I'm telling you, on Instagram, have you seen? I have thighs out there. I'm cute on Instagram. So that's a Nicolette platform. It's mixed with my pictures, my coffee, my everything. But when you go to my Facebook channel, it's just finance. People come there knowing what they want. People go to my channel knowing what to expect. So my Facebook channel for me is a much bigger platform than my Instagram channel. And so if I'm going to be selling, willing buyer, willing seller. So if I'm coming to you as a brand, who's a finance brand, and I want to sell you my Facebook channel, it will come in far more expensive than my Instagram channel.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're buying the audience. And that's what he's talking about. You're buying the audience. So that's why niching is also so important again. It's because you've niched an audience. You literally can go to, and you can use your audiences to be able to position your channel and say, I've got the market 24 to 35. These are the guys that are taking up tax-free savings accounts, for instance. These are the guys that are novice investors. These are the guys that want to start making sure that they're shaping their retirement. So you've literally told the client that this is who you want to talk to. So you can't pay me 50,000. You need to pay 500,000. But if Sasko Sam comes, Sasko Sam ainataba mangle mango ragabrod. You know, they can hit the mark with anything.
Like mangle mango ragamofai.
Do you understand? Hey,
yeah.
if you were to come to me, it would be very difficult for me to sell you my channel at the cost that I would sell it to a bank, for instance.
I get you. I get you. I'm currently negotiating with MacGyver on a collaborative effort to have MoFi advertise on their platform. But because I'm not a fully fledged business on that level yet, and you know I'm a growing small black-owned business, and they understand it, and there are 4 black-owned businesses, and I've got a good history with MacGyver from back in the day. Exactly what you're saying. So we're going through that, and how do we accommodate you but without selling ourselves short? But you know what I mean? Because they've built themselves a business, and it's still in the beginning stages. That thing is still going to become so huge. It's like your platform as well. Talking about YouTube, guys, we are still talking finances, because your YouTube channel is the most easiest passive income digital business or e-commerce business you can start right now.
Absolutely.
And I think for us touching on this topic is very, very imperative. Now they continue to say, I'm going to put the link on the description of this article and the source where it's from. You are the face of your YouTube channel, and subscribers may not respond well to a new person.
They don't.
If I were buying a new YouTube channel, I would want to work with the creator of the channel to film a dozen videos together. This way the audience will be comfortable with me when we finally do make the switch and part ways. Meaning, if you just sell your channel to a stranger and walk away, don't expect your channel to sell for very much money. And then let me just touch on these last 2 points. YouTube videos are a depreciating asset. The blog post tends to rise up the Google rankings over the first few days of its existence before slowly fading over the next decade. But YouTube tends to not work that way. On YouTube, your video will get a lot of engagement in the first 24 to 48 hours, then quickly fade. Buyers know that the video itself isn't becoming more valuable over time, but it'll continue to make money. Then lastly, a buyer has no way to increase monetization on past videos. You can't add a new content to videos you've already uploaded. Or you can't add new content to videos you've already uploaded. It's like the only thing you can do, you can go to the description and edit and change what you've written down there, but you can't actually go on the actual video.
Okay, so,
right?
On that point, okay, so let me start with the first point. The first point, let me tell you, YouTube audiences do not like new faces. Don't bring someone they don't know.
It's like your favorite radio show. When your favorite teacher is not there.
At all. Okay, people are just like, who is? They don't even want to hear what the content is. Who's this person?
I tune in and then I'm out.
Yeah, so like I've had a couple of times where we've tried. Remember, I've been trying to do this multi-face channel thing where I want different episodes every single day with different people, and people are just not buying into it. They're just like, no. So that one I definitely agree with. The one about videos. So what being part of that YouTube Black Voices Fund, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What it did for me was they gave us what is called a YouTube partner manager. And basically, this is somebody who walks with you throughout your journey of building your YouTube channel. And one of the things that she said to me, so yes, I agree fully, you can't make old videos, you can't bring anything new to them, right? Because they're already there, it's an asset, yes, depreciating asset in as much as the way I think the formula that he's using is incorrect.
And also, this article is a bit old, it's like 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah. But what you can do, which what somebody, my partner manager said, go and add mid-rolls ads.
What is a mid-roll ad?
So remember, in the past, YouTube didn't allow you to add ads in the middle of your videos. You could only add a video at the beginning and at the end. This is like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Then they changed that, and you could add in new mid-roll adverts. But people were getting upset because every 2 minutes somebody would not want to add in an ad, and it was irritating people. So then YouTube pulled it and then brought it back again, and then you could choose which types of ads that you want. Either it's those skippable ads, or you could choose what type of ad. So now what you can do is that if you have old videos, if you go on your YouTube studio, you can literally click there and edit your ads. And you can add in so you can add new ads into old videos.
And when you do that, you're increasing more chances of monetizing the videos.
Absolutely,
I get
absolutely.
you. And then lastly, while we're still on YouTube, I know you've got 10 more minutes to be here because she's got a flight. She has to be at the airport, guys. She did ask me that, Spoo, can we please make it exactly how long? Anyway, how much can you sell your YouTube channel for? In general, you can sell your YouTube channel for, this is what I was looking for earlier.
Yeah.
In general, you can sell your YouTube channel for 36 times the channel's monthly revenue.
Sure.
So when you said right now, even though you're not putting a lot of effort, your channel's making at least around an average of 10 a month, right?
Yeah.
Multiply that 36 times. That's how much you can value it. Or you can work hard on it for another year to increase that amount that you're getting, and then maybe you can explore this. But just to finish it off, so if your channel is making $500 per month, then a reasonable price for your YouTube channel would be about $18,000. If you're only making $100 per month, you can ask for $3.6 thousand for your channel. And then to finish it off, these figures can go up and down though, depending on a number of factors such as how they are monetized, channel engagement, audience attachment, type of content, and more. But we will look more into that on a later article. Maybe let me just read this. This is also very interesting. It is, however, possible to see channels sold for even 50 times their monthly revenue.
Sure.
So some large YouTube channels are selling for millions, like the children's kids songs channel, Little Baby Bum, which sold for a reported $7.5 million and $11 million respectively.
Can I tell you the craziest thing? I don't understand America. I don't understand the channels that are so big in America. Like it's a kids toy reviewing channel.
It's sleeping music.
It's kids music.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are these people? How are they making so much money?
But I'm glad we touched on the YouTube part
Yeah.
because it's the easiest way anybody out there can go just after watching this and go start their own channel.
Absolutely. I mean, when I started, I literally started with phone in hand in my car. And to be fun, to be so English today is escaping me. Mara go na le this thing ya gore, you know, people learn who you are and they fall in love with you. Because for me, when I started doing videos with my camera and, you know, trying to be a little bit more, you know, aesthetically pleasing, people were saying to me, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, no problem at all, by the way, guys.
Sorry, guys.
This is a podcast, so it's not as perfect as a television show would be, so it's okay.
So, people were saying to me, no, go back to the videos in the car. Go back to the videos where you're just holding the phone. We want that because there's rawness in it. I'm not trying to look cute.
Like Slick Talk and his entourage.
And
big up to him. I think he's showing a lot of young people. You don't need fanciness.
You don't.
You can just start.
Guys, literally, and I always say this about YouTube. You know, I work on television and on TV. I mean, I'm in the makeup chair by 7. You know, they're trying to make me look pretty, and I appreciate all of that. Then I go to wardrobe after that. Then I'm being checked, and I'm, you know, if my collar just sits like this, somebody has a panic attack, you know. And that's TV. TV, you've got to look aesthetically pleasing. You've got to sound great. You've got to be this. But on YouTube, it takes away all of that pressure. And really, it's about what are you saying? What content are you? What are you putting out there? What do I leave as a person feeling like after watching Spoo's channel? What am I getting from him? Because another thing is, remember, with aesthetics and all of that, you can irritate people. Because if somebody comes and watches and you look like you're just really not relatable to them, you're out of their league, you are in Louis Vuitton from head to toe, you look nice, you look amazing, but you're not human. So people then, you put a big gap between you and that person.
You're not
and
connecting.
You're not connecting. And I've always maintained. And that's why you will see a lot of my stuff. I always say to people, I'm moving with you. You guys know me from 2017. You know? Move to the next car.
When you started your YouTube channel,
Guys,
if you guys can see what she's parked out here. Yeah.
So
she's parked a 2-car car. But 2 million.
So that's my thing. Is my audiences know me. I can never pretend to my audiences. They know me because they know me through my YouTube channel. We actually had a lady when we were doing this YouTube black thing. There was a lady who birthed her kid and put the whole thing on YouTube. And people were like, "What are you doing?" And when she was talking about it, she said it's so funny because it was the new people that didn't know me. But the people who knew me understood why the birthing was on YouTube. Because they know me, they understand me, they know the story, they know my struggles of falling pregnant. They knew that birthing moment was such a huge moment for me. But somebody new will come and say, "Aibo, so what's like, is it sis?" You know, like, and that's the thing.
Yeah, and I think also you must start treating it like a business.
Absolutely.
Like, for instance, one of the things that we did on our part 1 interview, we shared the video. You put it on your platform, I put it on my platform. Even on this video. And you say those things even before. If it's a platform like ours where you're inviting guests, remember at some point one video might go viral and one video might end up having over 1 million views.
That's true.
That guest that you had on that show might just come back and be like, "Yo, bro, cut the check."
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So before you do anything, if it relies on other people coming on board, like me having you as a guest, negotiate such things before.
Absolutely.
Like I remember even when I was inviting Nicolette for today's episode, I was like, "We'll share the video. You can post it on your platform. I'll post it on my platform, so that she makes money out of it. I make money out of it to mitigate such things."
Yes.
Where I'm like, that video made so much. These people did not even come back and say, "At least you know," because guys, as much as you'll invite celebrities or people that you think are trending and that can bring value to your podcast, nowadays, because now they know also that YouTube is a business, you need to sort of come up with a way where upfront, before the recording happens, you negotiate a way with them. There's others who don't even mind, like me. You can interview me 1,000 times. I don't want a single cent out of whatever you make. It's just my way of giving back to you. I think for today's episode, we'll leave it here because you are literally not just a friend of the show. You created the show. This is your show. So I like the fact that today we're focusing on YouTube as a business financially.
Yeah.
I think when we also do the next catch up, which will be in a couple of months' time, maybe in September, I don't know.
That's my birth month.
Oh yeah, I remember. And you would have achieved so much that there's even more things to talk about.
I hope so. My goodness, I'm working on so many things. I feel like I'm working on so many things at once. And I mean, as I had said offline, and I'm always very honest, you know, I'm feeling a little lost, you know, feeling a little overwhelmed with some of the stuff that I'm doing. I know I have to do it. I know it's important to do the work that I'm doing. But you get overwhelmed, you know? You get overwhelmed. The math doesn't hlangana. You sit back and you're like, okay, go back to the drawing board. You go back to the drawing board. Sometimes you get overwhelmed because you're on social media. You're seeing other people doing really well. And then you're like, oh my God, when is my big break? You don't realize you are in a break, you know? And I think that's the big thing that most of us go through.
So guys, if millionaires can speak like this,
I guess it's not nice.
It's very important for you to understand that, guys, you're not on your own on that journey. We all go through it. We also do feel like giving up sometimes. We sometimes even cry ourselves to sleep. There's moments when, guys, so understand that the journey that you're on, aksuwa uyuwan, and I also do understand what she's just said, the pressures of social media. Please, Bantwana Basika, don't let it get to you. Keep the faith and keep grinding. And not on this side of the camera, we'll keep doing our part to continue to inspire you. So thank you so much, Nicolette.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Even if there's anything that you feel Actually, let me go revisit Abu Sbu again, but it's before September. You're more than welcome.
No,
to come.
definitely. I'm actually starting a new series called "I Am Not an Entrepreneur," and you are on my list of people to interview. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's time for us to start taking away the titles of entrepreneurs and just speaking to them as people.
Yes, ma'am.
You know.
So thank you very much. Have a safe trip to
Thank
Cape
you.
Town. You going to Cape Town?
No, I'm going to Namibia.
Oh, lovely. You're going to the desert.
Going to Namibia. Yeah, my friend had a baby. So it's our baby because my friend and I are born on the same day, same year. Literally. Yeah. So mtanami. So she gave birth to my child. I'm so excited.
Wow.
Going to see baby Lily.
So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a mom.
Ngiyabonga mntansekhaya.
Ngiyabonga.
Uqhubekela phambili usenze proud. Uyiphathe kahle, uqhubeke njalo ne?
Ngiyazama guys.
No, you're doing well. Continue to grow.
Thank you so much.
We love you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember the episodes come out Mondays and Fridays at 12 o'clock. I'm saying this because she's just reminded me a few minutes ago that it's always important to emphasize appointment viewing or appointment tuning in.
Yes.
So Mondays and Fridays, 12 o'clock. But the Monday episodes, it's just me and Penyo. And let me tell you.
I know Penyo.
Yeah, Penyo Lamloja, the black pen.
I went to school with him.
You lie.
I went to Rhodes.
You went to school with Penyo?
Yeah, know Penyo very well.
I should have brought him here. So the next interview, I'll make sure you're with Penyo.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what I did as well.
Yeah.
And this is me being inspired by McG.
Yeah.
I saw that McG's format is working.
Yes.
What you were saying.
Yes.
Appointment viewership.
Yes.
We had to choose a day. But we did not choose it because of McG. But it so happened after we had posted twice or thrice in a couple of weeks. Well, like this thing of posting the same day as
works.
McG comes out, it works because we are not competing.
Yes.
He's got his own audience, but he's actually helping all of us.
He is because
he's
are online.
Bringing everyone,
Yes.
He's bringing everyone to the internet. And what is he saying?
Yes.
He's like, guys, yenzani into yenu.
Yes.
So I think what McG has just done for all of us and his team,
exceptional.
Totally. I don't even think Abu McG they are aware of what they've just done properly. Yes, they are aware to a certain degree, but I think they'll only understand 10 or 20 years from today.
Absolutely.
Even you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next video.
This is the Hustlers Corner.